Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to part 26 of the Sea of Stars walkthrough. We are officially entering endgame territory, and the first thing we have to do is take down that Dweller of Dread that's been plaguing Ceres' world. All we have to do is leave the Speedball Network station, and we're going to head a little bit toward the southeast, and there we're going to find a whirlpool by the moon that is now shining. Once you're down underneath the water, head straight toward the left, and you can go down into the infinite abyss. There are no items here, no enemies that we have to deal with, nothing that we can miss. All we have to do is make our way down, 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 further into that abyss. And when we get down far enough, then we're going to be greeted by a cutscene and instantly get put into the boss fight against the Dweller of Dread. Careful. The Dweller's here. I can feel it too.
We've got your back.
It will be an honor to assist you in a cleansing. Zale? Yeah, it's coming. The Dweller of Dread really has three phases that we have to get through. The first two phases are just us fighting these tentacles. Now, because this is a part of the Dweller of Dread, and as you know, Dwellers don't take a lot of damage from normal attacks, we do have to use boosted attacks to do mega damage against these things. So really just have one of your party members attack, and the other ones use the orbs that you get to boost, and you'll do a ton of damage going forward. These things don't have a ton of HP, so you're able to blow through them pretty easily. In fact, a boosted dash strike will do tremendous damage to all the enemies, and you're going to be able to rip through these things really fast as you proceed down, down, further into the abyss. Okay, the first wave is done. That was really easy. Now we're going on to the second wave, which is just two more tentacles, exactly like the first ones. So we'll use that exact same strategy to get through it. If you use Lunar Shield, you can protect yourself against one of the attacks. These things just like to come down and either slap a party member or to shoot some spikes at them. Very easy monsters, not big offensive threats at all. But that's going to change when we get past this wave and go on to the third wave, where we fight the Dweller of Dread proper. And here we have the real Dweller of Dread. It has two tentacles on the side. You can take these things out, but it will respawn them after a couple turns. So just like the Elder Mist sword, that thing will eventually come back after a while. So take them out if you want to, just to limit the damage, but the fight will really be over after you take down the Dweller of Dread head. This thing that it's charging up right now, it has 5 different skill locks that you can break. If you can break it, that's a good thing because you will prevent him from using his ultimate attack, which is called Dread Stare. And I'm going to show you what that looks like a little bit later. I'll save the surprise, but just know that that is something that you probably want to avoid, but in some circumstances, it actually can be handy to let him do that. The tentacles will also come down and grab a party member and do damage to them. If you don't break the skill lock on the arm that has grabbed a party member, it's going to use a move called Chomp, and that will cause that party member to go into his big mouth, get chewed up, and they'll basically be dead at that point. So I will sacrifice Abyss for a little while just to show you what that looks like. It is a very dangerous move if you don't take it out or break that skill, so make sure you do that. Otherwise, we're just going to keep on fighting these tentacles, take it out, and we're going to again keep using those boosted attacks and using our lunar and solar magic to do lots of damage to it. You can use Soonrang to do a ton of damage to all of the different parts of this body, and we'll be able to take out the 2 tentacles with this and then really focus on the head. In addition to using the tentacles to attack, the Dweller of Dread will also use its normal attack, which is just where it opens up its mouth and it grabs all of your party members, and it does a little bit of damage to all of them. Not too bad, we can endure that one pretty easily. As far as skill usage goes, I would recommend, of course, using the things from Valere and Zale the most because it will do the most damage to it. And then when it comes to using your ultimate, definitely want to use something from Zale or Valere as well. Their ultimate attacks do a ton of damage, and you can wipe out the tentacles really fast doing it that way. So I would definitely recommend waiting until the tentacles are there before using that ultimate attack, just so that you can wipe them out, and that will only take 1 turn, and then you'll have a few more turns without having to deal with those pesky tentacles anymore. So we'll just keep on healing ourselves, fighting off these things, and then I'll show you what the ultimate attack will do against these enemies. Alright, we now have Zale's ultimate ready, so let's go ahead and use that and take out the 2 tentacles and do a ton of damage to the Dweller of Dread itself. Well, it's charging up its ultimate attack again, and we don't really want to get hit by that, so let's break that, and then we will have 3 combo pips when this is all done after breaking off those locks, and that will be a good time to use the Moon Shiv combo between Valere and Sarai. Now, this is going to do a lot of damage to him because he is weak to that lunar magic, and Moon Shiv, of course, is boosted by the moon power that we have. So let's go ahead and use that. If I boosted, I would have done even more damage to it, but you'll see it doesn't really matter because we can still do tons of damage, over 1600, just by that one attack. So we're making really good progress against this thing. We can use a boosted up dash strike to do lots of damage to it, and we will take out those tentacles just like that. Let's deal with a couple more rounds of it using its normal attack against us, and then I'll show you what its ultimate attack does. It's really something unique. Alright, I'm going for the break here. Unfortunately, I was a bit of a potato and I did not get the final attack off. and it used Dread Stare. What this does is it pits your party members against each other in a 1 versus 1 situation. However, the party member that we're attacking doesn't actually take damage, it's just like an illusion for us. And luckily, they only do a single attack, not a combo attack against us. So this is actually really favorable for me at this point because Zale can heal, and since his normal attacks generate NP, I'm able to keep up with the healing throughout this whole fight. All the while, I'm also charging up the ultimate meter and the combo meter throughout this little encounter. So I'm able to stay healthy, get MP back, and charge up the 2 meters so that when this little battle thing is over, I'm able to go right back into the fight even better and in a better situation than I was before. That being said, things could have been different if a different party member was chosen, but I did get lucky with it being Zale. So I'm kind of deciding here, what do I want to do? Do I want to use an ultimate or not? I decide to just use another dash strike to take out the tentacles, and then that's going to leave the middle head vulnerable for all of the attack going straight toward it. But right now I have a choice. Do I want to use my ultimate, or do I want to use my 3 combo pip attack and do a ton of damage to it? Well, I would definitely recommend using that ultimate first, because then you can just turn around and use your combos to refill more of that ultimate meter. Otherwise, you're just kind of wasting the combos because the meter's already full. So we're going to use Valere's ultimate attack, doing a ton of damage to this thing, and then I'll be ready to continue my attack using other strong abilities on my side. So at this point, it's getting close to attacking again. I'm just going to use a Disorient just to push that back a little bit more and give myself a little bit more free damage time. I'll have Zale follow up with just a normal attack so that I can get a couple orbs on the ground to do a boosted attack after this. Looks like he's in critical HP now. You can see he's kind of heaving a little bit. So I'm going to use my standard boosted Moon Shiv attack just to really finish him off. That seems to be how I finish off dwellers in this game. So of course, like the other ones, we'll use that Moon Shiv to finish him off and get the Dweller of Dread trophy as our reward.
You did it!
Haha! Valere, we just took down a Dweller! No Eclipse! This power, I didn't doubt for a moment that we could do it. Same, I feel so much stronger. That thing we did when Garl was hit by the curse? I feel like I can control it now. It's been growing within me too ever since. I think we're ready. The moon then? Together. Unbelievable. Look. And the clouds are gone too. Teamwork. Nothing like it. With their true power unleashed, Zale and Valere can now fly on the world map. Move around with the left stick and press X to lift off or land on clear surfaces, including water. The game doesn't tell you that. You can also explore areas that were previously unvisitable, and when you feel ready, the Flashmaster's Castle awaits for the final confrontation, but we've got a lot of stuff to do before then, so let's get started by heading over toward the Solstice Shrine, which can be found in the lower left corner of this map. You couldn't see it on the map before because we haven't been out here, but once we come over here, we can land and then go straight north and into the Solstice Shrine. We have to solve a mini puzzle in here first before we're able to go into the main part of the shrine. Stand on the platform on the left and then hold L2 to charge up the left side. Then use R2 to charge up the other side, and then you just have to basically alternate between those in order to raise and lower platforms until you can get up and flip the switch at the top. Now the big door will open and we can go inside the shrine itself. From here you'll see that the treasure chest we need is way in the back. So you think, okay, well let's just go get it. And what we're going to do first is to run around and just use these crystals to light up the area so that you can see a little bit better. Now if you go up, what you'll see is that there are some platforms that pop up, but they don't show up all the way. Instead they correspond to the blocks in the puzzle below. So run up to the top and then interact with this switch to lower that pedestal down, and that's going to remove some of the areas on the outside. Now run over toward the left side, interacting with this pedestal, and then it's going to eliminate one of those blue blocks that block one of the pillars. That also creates a little rock wall for us to use later on. So now let's go back down to the bottom part, and we're going to push the right block over toward the left, up, and then left again so that they're in the bottom two leftmost spaces. And then you want to climb up and then follow the path around with the new blocks that pop up until you can climb up and interact with the pedestal up on this level. That's going to create a rock wall over on the right side that we can use, and one on the left side as well. So let's head down and go all the way down to the bottom part again. When you get down here, push the top block right and then push it down. And then push the left block up and toward the right. So now they're both in the middle of this area. And then go up and you can use the floating platforms to get close enough to grapple over toward that rock wall. From here, you can activate the pedestal on top. That's going to eliminate another one of the blue blocks down below. And then we can hop down the ledge and interact with another pedestal. So it's really 2 for 1 on this side. And what that's going to do is eliminate the top left block. And we get another rock wall on this side. Let's head back down toward the bottom part. And this time we're going to put the blocks all the way in the top left corner. So move the block on top left and then up, and then move the bottom block left and up again. So now that they're in the top corner there, let's go over toward the left side, and all the floating blocks are going to be on the top left portion of this area. So we'll run down here, and then we can get up to the top area on the left side by climbing up the ledges. Once we're all the way at the top, we can interact with the pedestal. But this time, instead of removing one of the blue blocks, it'll actually give us another block that will spawn the floating platforms. So that's very good for us. Now let's head back down all the way to the puzzle area. Luckily, this part's very easy. Push that new block left one time and you're done. You just have to form the top corner there. And now we're going to climb up the way that we came before. And this time we're just going to run a little bit toward the right, and that's going to take us all the way up to where the treasure chest is. We get the silver accessory Celestial Ray, as well as a little cutscene showing us that another one of those purple dots is disappearing. We're getting very close to be able to break that seal very soon, and we're going to do it by the end of this episode. Now let's head on out of here, and then I'll show you what that Celestial Ray accessory does. The Celestial Ray is a very good accessory. I'm going to put it on Zale instead of the Solstice Sash because although I don't get quite as much magic attack, I also regenerate 1 additional MP with a basic attack, so that's going to give me 4 instead of the standard 3. Now what you want to do is fly over toward the entrance to the Sea of Stars, hop aboard the Vespertine, and then you're able to go back to the home world. There are 2 more solstice shrines here that we weren't able to get earlier, but now that we can fly, we're going to. So let's go to the one toward the northeast first. We'll fly over there and then land, and then go straight up and into this area. At this point, run forward. You can step on the little platform, and then all you have to do is move the light around to charge up all of these different spots. That's just going to move the locks out of the way, and we're able to then open up the main door and go inside. Now, this is kind of an interesting puzzle. You can see that the treasure chest is hidden behind a locked gate there. If you use the light to charge up the things on the left side, it will cause vines to grow up. And if you go toward the right side, it will cause platforms to move. So first thing we want to do is to charge up the ones on the left side. That will cause the vines to grow up, and now we can climb up here just like Super Mario. At the top, let's go toward the left and hop down. When we interact with the pedestal, one of the blue diamonds will illuminate by the door. That's the first of the 3 that we need to do. Now we're going to move the light over toward the right side to cause this pillar to show up. And then what we want to do is to move the light back toward the left side. That will give us another vine that we can climb up on this platform all the way toward the top of the area. Now from here, let's hop down and then hop up to flip the switch. That's going to create another platform for us to use. But first, let's walk across the tightrope so that we can see the little diamonds on the ground that we're going to charge up. We'll move it over toward the right side so that the platforms will move. And now we're going to go back across the tightrope so that we can use that platform to get across toward the right side. So we're going to struggle a little bit here, but then hop down and then go over toward the right side so that we can use this pedestal to illuminate the second of the 3 blue diamonds by the door. Now, of course, we're going to move the sun again toward the left side. That will give us yet another vine that we can climb up all the way on the right. And that will take us up here where we can then hop down and flip a switch to create a platform at the top. Let's hop down and then use the vine to climb up. But you'll see that we can't get through here because it's too close to the wall. Instead, what we have to do is I'm going to go back across that tightrope so that I can see the bottom part again. And I'm going to move the sun around toward the right side. That will get rid of the different vines. I don't need those anymore. But now I have enough platforms to climb up to the top. And then we're going to go across toward the right side. And then we're going to hit this pedestal, and that will finally illuminate the 3rd of the blue diamonds, and that's going to reveal the treasure to us. So another solstice shrine down. Let's just hop down, grab the chest contents, which is the heliacal earrings. Now, this is a really cool accessory. I'll show you what it does in a minute, right after this little cutscene plays out. We only have 1 more solstice shrine to take care of before we can go there. So the heliacal earrings is only equipable by Zale, and it increases his magic attack by 10, and Sunball does full damage to splash targets, which means you hit everyone, it does the same damage to all of them. It doesn't drop off based on the other enemies that you hit. So a very, very powerful accessory only by Zale. The last Solstice Shrine is just south of Sleeper Island. It's toward our southwest, so let's start flying over in that direction. You can basically fly straight west if you want to until you hit Sleeper Island, then just go straight south from there and you'll hit it no problem. It's just a little island sticking up, and we'll go inside of this Solstice Shrine. Luckily, this is a very easy puzzle to take care of. All you have to do is fill up the 4 different lines here. It goes pretty quickly, so just go around, get them all, and it will just cause the 4 different plates to rise up, and once they're all in place, then the door will open and you can go inside the shrine. This is also a very easy puzzle. You'll see that our chest is straight ahead of us, but we need to do a little fancy maneuvering to do that. So if you run forward, you can step on the pressure plate, and what you'll see is that there's a new platform that shows up here, and every time you step on one of the platforms, it's going to move you in the direction of that arrow. Now, the controller configuration is a little bit weird, where you really have to turn your head a little bit or turn the controller to know that more toward the right is up, and then it's just the directions around there. So you just want to step on the different tiles to move over toward the left side, a little bit up and toward the left. That will give you one of the pedestals you can interact with. And then all you have to do is jump off here, and then that will bring you back to the start of this area. Step on that little pedestal again, and then you're able to then move the platform back to the center location. And this time we're going to bring it all the way toward the right side and up. And then if you're quick enough, you can hop off before it moves out of the position and hit this pedestal. Then that is going to reveal the chest for us. Now we just have to jump off once again, go back to the beginning, step on the pressure plate to bring the big platform back to us, and then we just have to use a combination of going up and toward the left side to get up to the top. So we'll just move in that same fashion to get all the way toward the top here, and one more time going toward that direction, and we're able to open up the chest. It's the best armor for a Solstice Warrior, and once we've beaten all of the Solstice Shrines, we can see that all of the purple dots are now missing from the seal, and we can go and interact with it for another challenge waiting for us. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. So let's go ahead and then equip that new Eclipse armor onto Zale, and then we're going to hop down into the abyss, and that's going to take us back to the beginning where we can just run out, and that's pretty easy to get out of. Let me just make it daytime for you guys so we can see a little bit easier. Alright, our next challenge is going to be on Evermist Island. We have to go to Mountain Trail. It's just a little bit toward the southwest of where we are. We'll land right next to Yeet and then go over toward the right side to go into the top part of Mountain Trail. We've done this plenty of times in the past, but we're going to go over toward the right side just by having the sun power up the different bridges to go all the way to the right side over by where the Elder Mist Trials are. We don't have to go into the Elder Mist Trials. I would recommend going a little bit further toward the right and using the save point here because there is kind of a tough boss fight coming up. Let's now head south past the Elder Mist Trials, and we're going to go using the rock wall over toward the bottom right area. That's going to take us down to where we can see a cave just past this misty waterfall area, and we'll go inside and we can see this big vortex. If we interact with it, we get a little cutscene. Solon and Luana, you have come a long way on this journey. Weapons of great power have manifested in the dream world. Prove yourselves worthy and claim them as your own. This challenge is for the two of you alone. Are you ready to face me one last time? We'll choose yes. Then close your eyes. Now let's just head straight up, and we're going to immediately be put into a boss fight against the Elder Mist once again. This fight is largely the same from when we fought him the first time. Notably, his sword is still in play, so that if you attack the main body, if the sword is still there, it will counterattack, and we don't want that. So make sure that you focus down that sword first, but you also want to make sure that you're breaking the Elder Mist skills, because we don't want to have to deal with either the healing that comes out of it or some big damage. So just make sure that you keep up on both the healing on your own party member side and doing damage and breaking locks again. I find it very interesting that because we have those helical earrings, we can do a full damage splash attack against the Elder Mist if we aim at the sword. And if we're aiming at the sword, it is not going to counterattack against us for whatever reason, even though it's still active and the main body was damaged. If we use Moonerang, the same thing doesn't happen. We can attack the sword first, but it will still counterattack after that. So something is very special about using Sunball against the sword, where the game seems to not think that you're actually attacking the main Elder Mist body and therefore initiating a counterattack. So make sure that you're putting those helical earrings to good use, doing a full powered attack against it, especially if it's boosted. It does lots of damage against him. So I'm just going to let this fight play out now. You've kind of seen all the real mechanics that we have to deal with, and I'm going to let it play out, and I'll see you at the end of this fight. Well, he's not a dweller, and I don't have access to Moonshiv because there's no Sarai right now, so I'll finish him off with just a powered up Sunball, and that will be enough to end this fight. And when we do that, we also get a new trophy called Elder Dist for defeating the Elder Mist a second time. I also leveled up at this point, so I'm going to throw a few more points into the mana point totals so that we can keep using skills a little bit more easily. Woo-hoo-hoo! Strong you are indeed. May these serve you well. Got Sunblade. And got Moonbow. Godspeed, Solon and Luana. Those are the new ultimate weapons that we have for both Zale and Valere. Let's go ahead and throw that on. You can see it's a huge increase to both our attack and our magic attack. And with those new ultimate weapons in hand, let's go out and find an enemy that we can test it on. This guy will work just fine. We're going to use just one attack with Zale, and that's going to be enough for a one-hit kill. So very powerful indeed. And now we're just going to go up and out of this area. Of course, we have to go back across all of those bridges made of light. So as I'm doing that, I just want to thank you for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Make sure that you hit that like button if you enjoyed it and learned something from it. And also be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, because I don't want you to miss any of these episodes. I think they're good. I work hard on them, and hopefully you enjoy them as well and want to watch more of them. So if you do, hit that subscribe button, and also leave a comment letting me know you did that so I can thank you properly. So with all that being said, thanks again for watching. I'll see you soon for part 27. Until then, have a good day.